By Southeast Car Agency and brought to you in part by International Diamond Center, Domino's, Atlantic Roofing, Meldon Law, Los Linderos Tequila, Comfort Temp, Campus USA Credit Union, Pomodoro Cafe, Titan MRI and Imaging, Silverback Concrete, Ruse Ogra State Farm, Crystal Air, Miapa Latin Cafe, Radware, Fairlife Milk, Gator Trim Lights, Quality Plumbing, Doreen Wiebe Realtor Caldwell Banker, and the Head Beer Coach.
Now, here's Steve Russell, right here on WRUF.
It is time to eat some lunch and talk some sports. Welcome into a Thursday edition of Sports Scene as you listen on WRUF, powered by ESPN. It's that time of the year, ladies and gentlemen. It's called holiday break. Our students take a break. Therefore, Kevin is producing Sports Scene today. This is his first shot at seeing what I've seen all these years, but it's part of the deal. So thanks to Kevin for doing that today. Got a good show planned for you today. I couldn't wait to ask this, though, and I want to get your reaction. Billy Napier formally signs his contract at James Madison, and he's going to hire an offensive coordinator. The one thing he would not do here, and who knows, maybe if he had, he might still be around. I wonder what your reaction was to that. I hope you'll call or email and tell me today. If for those who never liked to hire in the first place, I get what your reaction is going to be. But you know what? It's sometimes not easy to admit you made a mistake. And he's also going to use different personnel than what he used here. So, but I just wonder what your reaction is to that. By the way, this has been out for a while. When Coach Summerall comes here, and by the way, he has been in Gainesville. He's had his staff in Gainesville, meeting together, planning, talking to recruits, all of that. They were in final exams at Tulane, so they weren't going to practice anyway, but he's back there now, getting ready for the game. But the schedule next year, as brutal, and again, if you think Billy Napier was somewhat unlucky, he was, given the schedule. He had a brutal schedule. Next year, Florida has 4 home games, 4 away games in the league. South Carolina, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, Oklahoma come here. Go to Kentucky, Auburn, Missouri, and Texas. Now, we don't know what teams are going to be like because of the portal and all of that. I mean, one of those teams may get the best quarterback in the world. But on paper, much more manageable, don't you think? In 2027, Florida's home games are Arkansas, LSU, Texas A&M, and Kentucky. A little harder home schedule. Away, South Carolina, Mississippi State, Alabama, and Tennessee. Probably a little tougher schedule in 27 than in 26. Anyway, just wanted to throw that out there. Sometimes in 24 hours, what about what's happened at Michigan? Wow. I mean, first of all, to lose a coach this late in the process after all these hirings have taken place, but then when you throw in what's behind it, man, who are they going to hire now? I'd be interested. We've seen it, not very much. That's a big job. That's a big-time job. If a coach was just hired someplace and Michigan called and said, would you come here? I wonder. By the way, before I get to Daryl's call, let me tell you we're broadcasting live from the Gator Trim Light Studio, your one-stop source for lighting needs. And as always, fueled by our friends at Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue, the best in late-model, low-mileage vehicles. Go see them today. When you do, make sure and tell them Sports Scene sent you. Titan MRI and Imaging phone line, 392-8255. 3 locations in Gainesville, 1 in Lake City to serve you better. Same-day scheduling available. Call them for the best MRI and affordable prices at TitanMRI.com. International Diamond Center email, srussell@wruf.com. They carry an assortment of designer engagement rings, wedding bands, watches, and great fine jewelry. They are the official jeweler of the Florida Gators. All of our guests, courtesy of Meldon Law, in practice since 1971, the only injury law firm partner of the Florida Gators. And many thanks to Quality Plumbing for sponsoring our first hour. Rely on the same company Gainesville's trusted for over 40 years. That's right, over 40 years. Quality Plumbing, their name says it all. All right, let's go to our Titan MRI Imaging phone line. Daryl, hello.
Hey, Steve, thanks for taking my call today.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Steve, did you get to see the Stuart Scott 30 for 30 last night?
Part of it, yes, I did.
Yeah, incredible how he went from journalism school in Chapel Hill to, to ESPN and battle cancer, out late in his career. It kind of hit home with me, one of my loved ones going through the same thing, and passed away from it. But it was a great show last night.
Yeah, look, I think when you're dealing with one of your own, you're going to make that, at least try to make that, a pretty special thing. And it was. And obviously, what he went through with his family and all that. But what I love about the guy, forget on air, he understood his illness. He did what he could to put it out there, to have people help donate, as Valvano did. Really well done.
Yeah. Steve, before we get to Billy Napier, what do you think about Pete Alonso with the Orioles now?
I thought he was leaving all the while. I thought Boston. I thought that's where he was going to go. It surprised me a little bit that it was going to be Baltimore, but I think from what I'm told, they offered the most money. And that's what – and look, I don't begrudge Pete looking for money, right? He took a shorter payday to stay with the Mets. In the short term, this is so typical Mets. So typical Mets that you lose your closer, you lose your best power hitter, you get rid of Brandon Nimmo, very popular player, and you have to replace them. Okay, you sign a guy who could be your closer, but other than that, nothing. Now, there's plenty of time between now and the year to fix that, but once again, it'll be a painful holiday for Mets fans.
Right. Steve, as far as Billy Napier, it's like this to me. I mean, you live life, you learn from your mistakes in life. It's like on the job, you make mistakes, but you learn from them. I wish Billy Napier nothing but the best at James Madison, Steve. And I just think he learned his lesson by not hiring an offense coordinator at Florida. He's seeing now that, I know James Madison's a smaller school than UF, but still, he's seeing now it's going to take more than just him running the whole offense at a school,
Here's the thing, though. I really would like to do one more sit-down with Billy and ask him, in his opinion, what didn't go right here, and I'm going to work like hell to do that. But it's one thing to hire an OC. Forget Billy. It's Joe Blow could be the coach, and you hire an OC. What are you going to let him do? What will he actually be able to do? Is he going to be the real play caller? Is he going to have a say in the personnel, right? Whether it's 11 personnel, 12, whatever that personnel is, to the strength of your football team. That's, hiring an OC is fine. What are you going to allow the OC to do, I think, is the most important question.
Correct. It's just like here, what is Coach Summerall going to let our new OC do,
Yeah, I think he'll let him be the OC.
Yep. All right, Steve, have a good day, my man.
All right, thank you. And I can tell you this, Florida's new offensive coordinator wants to be a head coach. And he will do, if he's successful here, great chance to go away. Evan, Billy says he'll hire an OC, But he also said he'd do that here last year. He looked into one guy, stopped looking, and gave up. I'll believe it when I see pen to paper. Bernard, hello.
Hey, Steve, how's it going? Steve, they hadn't announced that thing. You say that guy wants to be Buster Faulkner wants to be a head coach. Yeah, he may be a head coach before he's offensive coordinator. Because this thing is not finalized with him here yet, from what I'm hearing and reading. What are you hearing?
Well, I'm just saying that his aspiration is to be that, and he was here in town with Summerall. So, I think that's going to happen. But look, I think, if your goal is to be a head coach in college football, you normally do that from a coordinator spot. And I think if he does well here, for a couple of seasons, he would at least be in the pool, I think, for candidates. If indeed that happens. That's a long way away, though.
You know how it works here, Steve. If a guy comes here and does a good job, man, everybody come after him for offers. But, Steve, it's Billy Nape. I love the guy. He did so much right here. I want him to be successful. But, Steve, I think Billy kind of even got that thing backwards. You kind of hone your craft out of James Madison, and then so you perfect it. So when you get to a place like Florida, you're ready to take on the big guns, Steve. He's doing it in reverse. I think it took for him to get fired for him to actually see his mistakes. Because if I'm the athletic director at James Madison, I say, hey, what was your biggest takeaway? What would you do different if you were still at Florida? Another thing is this, Steve, I think they had Signetti and Chesney. James Madison, I think they lit the scoreboard up on paper. I wonder, I don't know if that's Billy's philosophy, but hey, man, I wish the guy nothing but the best. Steve, you take care and have a great day.
All right, Bernard, thank you. Maybe in time, people will see some of the good things that Napier did do. Cleaned up the locker room, all that. Players did not get in trouble here. You never saw players in the police blotter here. So those things, Gator made, those types of things, very, very good. But fans don't care about that as much as they do, obviously, winning and losing. But he did say, there was a radio interview that he did up there, and he said he would go more pace, a little more 11 personnel, spreading out. He thinks at that level he can find the skilled players to do it. And it's interesting, and I kind of agree with him here. At that level, I think it's easier to find 11 personnel people than it is tight ends. I think at this level, you find the tight end. So what he's saying makes sense, but I can just see a lot of Gator fans rolling their eyes at this point over some of the things that he said. We'll take a break. We'll come back, and then we're going to start getting our guests here on Sports Scene. Stay with us as you listen on WRUF. Hey, it's Steve Russell for Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue. Friends, they've been in business for 45-plus years, and the Cousins family has done just one thing, but, man, they've done it right. They give you the best alternative you have to purchasing a new vehicle, the best in late-model, low-mileage vehicles. I'm driving one right now, have been for a very long time. They've treated me right. They'll do the same thing for you. Go see them today, Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville.
Transform your home with Gator Trim Lights. Professionally installed, permanent outdoor lighting that disappears by day and dazzles by night. Our patented color-matched channel blends seamlessly with your roof line. No clips, no wires, just a clean, custom look. Use the easy app to light up the holidays, birthdays, game days, any day. Energy efficient, built to last, and backed by a lifetime product warranty. Schedule your free estimate today at GatorTrimLight.com.
When the unexpected happens, you need a legal team that's ready to fight for you, just like the Florida Gators. At Meldon Law, we're proud to partner with the Florida Gators to deliver winning results for those who have been injured at no fault of their own. With a strong record of success and a team that won't back down, Meldon Law is your trusted partner in tough times. Call Meldon Law at 352 888-373-8000 or visit us at meldonlaw.com.
After you work out, you can feel worn out. Reach for Core Power and rise to a whole new level of recovery. Protein to build muscle. Electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to power on. Champion your recovery with Core Power.
Hey, have you ever talked to Ruse Agra over at State Farm?
Oh yeah, Ruse is awesome. Helped me get a ton of coverage for way less than I expected, and he serves all of North Florida. Super friendly too, actually takes time to explain everything.
Really? I thought State Farm would be pricey.
No, surprisingly great rates. You get that neighborly service you don't find everywhere. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I might give Ruse at State Farm a call.
You should. Call 352-240-1779 for a free quote. You'll be glad you did.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
90 years ago, 9 University of Florida faculty members started something big, Campus USA Credit Union, the first credit union on a U.S. college campus. Today, Campus USA is 160,000 members strong, proudly serving the community with auto loans, business loans, mortgages, and more. Whether you're just starting out or building your future, Campus is here to help you every step of the way. Stop by any campus location or join the team at campuscu.com. Campus USA Credit Union, celebrating 90 years of better banking.
Look at your hood, your bumper, that door ding you swore you'd fix last year. Mako sees it too, and we make it easy to take care of, from scratches to full makeovers. We've been trusted for over 50 years to get cars looking like new again. And we're not just for drivers like you and me. Mako is the largest fleet cosmetic repair provider in the country. So whether it's one car or 50, go with the brand you can trust. Better get Mako. Visit Mako.com or stop by Mako in Gainesville today on Main Street.
You're listening to Sports Scene with Steve Russell, right here on WRUF, 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Don't forget, if you have Facebook Live questions, they're brought to you by Ruse Agra State Farm, your go-to agent in Gainesville and North Central Florida for home, car, casualty, and life insurance. And any YouTube questions brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union, where Mr. Spurrier does his banking, founded on the UF campus, serving our community for 90 years. Well, with all the football and basketball and winter meetings in baseball, we're going to talk soccer today because Florida's new soccer coach, Nick Zimmerman, is here live in studio. Coach, welcome. Welcome to Gainesville.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Talk to us about what you saw in this job in taking this position.
Yeah, well, we're going to call it football here as well too. So it'll be the other football. Okay. But yeah, no, I mean, obviously, I grew up in Tampa. A lot of friends, a lot of family. The history of this program and Mississippi State was incredible to me. I want to thank everyone there that allowed me that opportunity to grow and learn. And I was actually ready to basically have roots down there. And Florida came open, and there's only two jobs, right, that I was actually looking for that I would leave, and Florida and Notre Dame. And Florida opened up, and it was pretty surreal to be involved in the process with the history of the this program, the success it's had. I've known Coach Becky for a while, and she was one of the first ones to reach out to me. So I'm beyond grateful and honored to lead this program and hopefully bring it back to the days that they used to know.
How'd you get into coaching?
So I grew up playing soccer, went to James Madison, and then got the opportunity to play professionally. So I played in the MLS, played for New York Red Bulls, Philadelphia Union, and then I got hurt, right? The thing that you never think will happen.
Of course.
And I'm so grateful for my parents, in particular my mom, because I had the opportunity to leave college early to go play pro. And I said I'd finish my degree, but she knew me better than I probably wouldn't. So, I got hurt, and I always loved the game. I was a student of it, always asked questions, and, I had the opportunity to work with club teams, had high-level coaches when I played pro. And so it was something that really I was passionate about, and it's been incredible.
If a Gator fan is going to come out and watch your Florida teams play, what will they see? What are some of the things that you demand or that you expect of your players?
Yeah, well, first off, we're going to work really, really hard. We're going to be a team that when they put on that jersey, they know what it represents. All the players that have come before and all those that will come after. But we're going to be a team that wants the ball. It's going to be very, very attack-minded. When we don't have it, we're going to be relentless in us trying to win it back. And, it's going to be a team that's fluidity. It's going to be interchanging. It's going to be a team that's going to, like I said, dominate the ball. It's going to be an attractive style where not only, fans are going to come from near and far, but top players want to play in this system.
Have you had a chance to talk to the team and all that stuff?
Yes,
yet?
yeah. I got announced, or I got told Thursday. I told my team, and then Friday morning I did a Zoom with the group, and there's a lot of excitement. And I met with them all individually throughout this week. And I think for us, it's the biggest thing is just getting to know them. Let them know my vision for this program. Hiring an elite staff is the first and foremost important thing for me. And then the standards and expectations that we have of them each and every day. And it starts with me as the leader.
I've done this for a long time, and I don't know I've ever asked a coach this question. So I'm going to ask it.
Well, I feel special.
Yeah, I'm going to ask it. How difficult is it leading a team?
Yeah. I've only had to do it 2 times. And, I appreciate the administration of Mississippi State for allowing me the opportunity to speak to the team. On Thursday night, it was emotional. I mean, I typed up something, and I barely got through it. I bawled like a baby, and it's because of the relationships that you develop. It's because, someone once told me, if it doesn't hurt, then it wasn't worth it. And ultimately, it couldn't have been more worth it. I have absolutely no regrets. I have some of my best memories there, and so it was really, really, really hard. I have a baby girl coming in February.
Congratulations!
Thank you, girl dad. As if it was ever going to be a boy, right? So, but no, I mean, this was something that allows me to get back closer to my family who live in Tampa and can be a part of our daughter's life.
Coaching in the SEC, obviously very, very competitive league. What do you see when you're at State with the SEC?
Yeah, I mean, I actually just answered that question, earlier today. And the SEC is really unique in that every single team is different. Every single team presents different challenges. And so one of my most enjoyable things as a coach is trying to understand the chess match of where we can exploit them, where they exploit us, and every team is different, every game is different, but the most important thing for us is our identity, that no matter what what you're going to get from Florida Gators.
Mary Howard is the longtime sports information person for the sport, and I've been doing this a long time, and she knows soccer is not my most. That I have the most knowledge in, so I rely on the coaches to help me. But in terms of style of play, what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, we want to attack. For I know, being around the game enough, there's a lot of people that don't know the game, and ultimately, they realized most easy thing to see is, man, you guys really pass a lot. Right, so most sports have passing in some shape or form. So you try and take it at the remedial level. But we're going to team that's going to pass the ball. We're going to share the ball. We're going to dominate the ball. But we want to score goals. We want to attack. Our goalkeeper is going to play extremely high. It's going to be uncommon, and it's a little bit uncomfortable for new goalkeepers early on. But talking to the players in goal, they're really, really excited about it.
What was the player reaction to you?
I hope good. I think it was positive. But obviously it's so early. And it's, for me, it's about building that trust. And through that, it takes time and really, really trying to connect with these players, not just on the surface level, but also deeper.
Sometimes I think, why would somebody want to coach given all that's out there now? The portal and NIL and all of that. How much of a challenge has that been?
Yeah, I mean, I think the challenge is no one really knows what's going on. Every other day it changes. New legislation, new rules. What's allowed, what's not allowed. So it's ever evolving, and it's important to have the resources that know that a little bit better than you. They get paid way more than we do to make those decisions. But at the University of Florida, the resources that you have and the commitment to it, just from being here just a few days, is been incredible to see. And the amount of donors that I've spoken to as well early on. This is a sport that Florida Gators really, really want to see do well, and it's an incredible sign for me.
I hope I don't ask a dumb question here.
Never.
Because of all of that, has it changed how you recruit?
Yeah. I think nowadays the hardest part, right, is it transactional, right? Where it's X is an X amount is value, and right now, how do you actually determine value, right? So it's about developing those relationships where you have players that truly not only want to be at Florida, but they also want to grow and they want to develop. And, the financial piece is there. We're well aware of it, and I understand it. But at the core, it has to be about more than that. And, it's certainly, you're going to go after elite players. And, you have many universities that are throwing money out. So it's certainly a changing landscape than it was 5, 7, 10 years ago.
That was my last question. In terms of the athlete that you recruit, I guess it's positional like anything else, but in terms, in a general sense, what are the kind of athletes you want to recruit here?
I think they have to fit our style, right? Our vision, right? The most important thing is an organization is that everyone is aligned with what we are trying to do. And, we want to go after the players that we feel embody the University of Florida. And obviously from not just a soccer standpoint or a football side, but also just who they are as a person, the character side. They have to embody the values that are important to me and are important to the University of Florida.
Did I miss anything? Anything you want to add?
No, this is great. I appreciate it. And we're going to get you to say football. It'll be FUTBOL, not 2 O's. So.
Okay. Mary, take a note of that now. I have to, when he's here, I got to say football now.
You don't have to do the food. You could just say football. It's okay. Yeah, right, but it's up to you. Whatever you want. It's your world, Steve. It's okay.
But you're in it. So, right, as long as you're here,
all right.
I'll defer
I appreciate
to the new guy here.
All right.
Appreciate you coming by.
Thanks for having me.
You
appreciate it. Go Gators.
Welcome to Gainesville. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Much more sports scene to come as you listen on WRUF.
WRUF, your home of the NFL.
It's no fun being injured. The last thing you want to deal with is long wait times or high costs. Well, guess what? You don't have to thanks to Titan MRI and Imaging. The experience at Titan MRI and Imaging is much more personal than the sterile atmosphere of a hospital. Joe and his team are personally involved and will guide you through the entire process at any of their 3 convenient locations. And they accept insurance. So if you need a scan, save time and money and call Titan MRI and Imaging. Learn more at TitanMRI.com.
The jewelry store with the most likes, the most positive reviews, the most raving fans is International Diamond Center.
IDC is definitely a place that I will come to as long as I live here. This will be my go-to place always.
Literally the best jewelry store in town. You'll make friends for life coming in here. I felt like family from the beginning. The value was extraordinary.
I've got a beautiful diamond on my finger, and I'm very proud of it.
International Diamond Center.
I'm very happy to show it off.
At Celebration Point and online at shopidc.com.
Every great team is built on a solid game plan, sharp execution, and total trust in the crew beside you. At Quality Plumbing, we bring that same championship mindset to every job we do. For over 40 years, we've been the starting lineup for homes and businesses across North Central Florida, delivering reliable service, expert craftsmanship, and big wins for our customers. Call us today or visit qualityplumbing.com. We're your first string team. License number CFC 043073.
Need a new AC and wondering who to call? I'm Kirk Smith, owner of Crystal Air and Water. Our team of professionals are strongly committed to responsiveness, problem resolution, customer satisfaction, and service excellence. We promise to meet the heating and cooling needs of your home with the most effective and energy-efficient products available. Maybe that's why we're the most liked AC company on Facebook. Follow us today. Crystal Air and Water, online at acpenguin.com.
License number CMC 1249384.
Yes, I'm calling Crystal Air and Water. Call Crystal.
Hey, did you hear where the company holiday party is going to be this year?
Oh, yeah. Spurrier's Gridiron Grill.
No, wait, I love that place. I went to their brunch last month. They have this amazing made-to-order omelet station and bottomless mimosas. It's so good.
Well, then, I guess the party's already a win.
Make your holidays a touchdown at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Enjoy brunch every Saturday and Sunday, 11 to 3. And there's still time to book your holiday party. Visit spurriers.com for more.
Yeah. There are plenty of realtors in town, but few work as hard, respond as quickly, or care as deeply as Doreen Wiebe of Caldwell Banker MM Parish. Community-driven and client-focused, Doreen will work with you to ensure your satisfaction. Whether you're buying or selling, she brings persistence, preparation, and heart to every deal. With Doreen, you're not just another transaction. You're a priority. Call 352-562-1411. That's 352-562-1411.
So I was thinking of getting Dad another tie this year.
A tie?
You know he spends more time on the boat than in the office. Maybe get him a new life jacket instead.
Good idea. Besides, ties sink and life jackets don't.
Before your holiday shopping, visit wearitflorida.com for life jacket guidelines and make this holiday unforgettable, because the best gift you can give is life. Brought to you by the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. Life jackets save lives. Wear it, Florida.
This is Sean Kelly, voice of the Gators, and you're listening to the home of Gators basketball, right here on WRUF.
Fueled by Southeast Car Agency, coming to you live from the Gator Trim Light Studio. This is a Thursday edition of Sports Scene. As the day goes along here, really good guest list coming on. We're going to talk some college basketball. We're going to talk some college football. We're going to talk about Santa Fe College. They've got an athletic program, too. Their women's basketball team is in full swing now. David Lowry, their coach, will join us. Tomorrow, Mark Wise will join us for a segment to talk hoops with you. Jenny Rowland, the Gator gymnastics coach, will be live here in studio. And Sean Devaney will talk a little NBA. But in the meantime, we have an open phone segment here and an email segment, 392-8255, the International Diamond Center phone line, and the email is srussell@wruf.com. And we also want to tell you to check out our daily clip of the day on WRUF Facebook and YouTube at WRUF Home of the Gators, brought to you by our friends at Fairlife Milk. No interviews yet, right? Okay, all right. All right, let's get to a couple of emails here. Mark, how crazy would this be? DeBoer to Michigan, Kiffin to Alabama, Sumrall to LSU, Steve Russell to Florida. Yeah, the last one is crazy. But, look, that's not going to happen. But would it be interesting to see now who Michigan does go after? And would a coach who has just taken a job someplace all of a sudden say, well, I'll go to Michigan? I don't know. Brian, if anybody has any question about Summerall's work ethic, these past 2 weeks should show he's all in. Spurrier shared a picture of him and his coaching staff together, eating and meeting. Yep, 2 full-time jobs now. I can't imagine the amount of pressure he's under. Billy deserves another shot. Glad he's getting it at JMU. I wish him well. Glad he's willing to change to better his career and acknowledging it didn't work. Wish he had done it sooner. Time heals all. We can't fault him for bettering himself in hopes he can get back to his roots of success. And I hope that's how most people will feel here. Art, what the Mets are doing makes no sense. They stripped the team but let the manager run it back, who was in charge of the second half collapse. Strange franchise. It's always been a strange franchise in New York. Always, Art. Now, let's. If you're a glass half full guy, there is certainly time to make changes. But on the surface of this at the winter meetings, not a good look for the Mets at all. All right, let's go to Byron here. Byron, hello. Can you put him up, his volume up, the caller?
It's me, Steve.
Okay, hey, Byron, go.
Yeah, Steve, stop me if you want. But, Steve, just say this. Last week I was calling you about, maybe everybody knows what Steve, Coach Spurrier went through with the 9-2. And we were just mentioning what coaches will be safe. I think Brian Kelly might be getting a shot at Michigan. I wish that guy the best. Boy, he blew an opportunity. But Brian Kelly would be a good person. Maybe. I'm just bringing it out there. But what I want to bring up his name for, Steve, is over his years there, what was his records? And I don't think he lost under 9. He maybe didn't win nothing like I was saying. But, I just for conversation's sake, I don't know if I have the receipts on this, Steve, but I heard Alabama's not happy with their coach. I don't know, Steve, but just saying it's going to be fun watching this thing develop because, but yeah, it might be a good time to be a coach, Steve. Thank you for taking my call, man. Go Gators.
Byron, thank you. If Alabama is not happy with their football coach, then that fan base needs an enema. Simple. They're in the playoff. I guarantee you, if they lose in the first round, there's going to be a segment of the fan base that want him fired. Because that poor guy is always going to be compared to Saban. And that's what you know that's going to happen when you take the job, right? I get that. But, my God, they're in the playoff. But let's do a little history lesson. James Franklin was in the playoff. That didn't matter any because he got fired. All right. Let's get Top Jimmy here. Hi.
Good afternoon, sir. Always a pleasure. I spoke with, for the first time ever in my life, I spoke with Dan Patrick. I got on his show this morning to talk about Gator Hoops and the OKC Thunder, which I also want to discuss those topics with you in a moment. Have you ever met Dan Patrick? Because he recognized your name.
I've met him once.
You have met him in person? Okay.
Yes.
Because I mentioned that you are our local sports godfather, and he applauded you for your career and the things that you have provided for us and accomplished in your life. So just wanted to give that shout out, and I told him I'd do that.
Okay, thank you.
OKC, man, it's ridiculous. They're not just beating teams, Steve. They just beat the Suns by 50 last night.
I said this at the start. I said it at the start of the year. If they stay healthy, they're going to break the record. They are.
Yeah, and remind me, the record was the Bulls, 72-10?
No, not the Bulls. Yeah, Golden State.
Oh, it was Golden State.
Yeah, 2015, 2016, I think, maybe.
And they won.
Somebody can fact check me, but I think I'm right.
All right, I might fact check you on that. I typically don't do a lot of research.
Because
you know that
Golden
when I call
State
you, but,
was the other team that had the start of 24-1. That I do know.
Okay. Roger that. And also, the next 5 games on the schedule for the Gators men. By the way, fantastic interview with Zimmerman. They're playing. I'm not going to say cupcakes, but they're going to play about 4 or 5 games now between now and the start of the SEC schedule that they should win and probably will win.
Yeah,
to bolster their record.
Well,
to bolster the record to 10
I don't know
and
about
4.
bolstering the record, but the way that he put the schedule together is, I think, really good. A lot of tests early. So you play, 9, 10 games. Then you play a stretch of games, which, on paper, you should certainly win. I think there's 4 left. And then you start the
5.
SEC. So, and that's a good Missouri team. But look, in the SEC, most teams are pretty good. So this is a chance to, A, get more wins, and B, I think, tinker a little bit. Maybe get more people in the game, see if they can help you down the road when the SEC starts. So I like this.
I like, and I'm on board with you too. It seems that Hanlockton's kind of in a funk right now. He's got to figure something out and get dialed in. But if Bland and Lee can get on sync with each other, and the front court is in solid shape, and will hold against anybody. I mean, again, we lost to a team ranked in the top 5 by 4 points night before last, the UConn.
Yeah.
So, and who was the 4th loss? It was UConn, Arizona.
Arizona is a loss. UConn, TCU.
Duke. Oh, TCU. That's right. I forgot. That's the one I forgot. Okay. All right. So that's a pretty good loss resume to have for a team before they've even played a conference game, in my opinion.
If you're going to put the glass half full, okay, you lost to UConn by 4. You lost to Duke by 1. You lost to TCU by 4. And you lost to Arizona by 6, 5,
it's
6.
It's a combined total of less than 20 points. They lost all 4 games by.
I mean, in theory, could have certainly, won those games. It isn't like they got blown out. But the bottom line is, some of those games you have to start winning, and I would imagine they would.
All right, fair enough, Steve. Always a pleasure. Thanks, sir.
Okay, Top Jimmy, thank you. 3928255. You can email the show, srussell@wruf.com. Gabe says, good for Pete Alonso. Hoping the Red Sox at Fenway a slightly better fit for him, but the O's came up with the deal he wanted. Mets boy wonder GM Stearns squeezed him last year, kept playing footsie this year without coming forward with a longer-term deal he wanted, following a good year. The Mets overpay lots of underperformers and refuse to value Alonso's contributions with a longer-term contract. Now they've lost Diaz and Nimmo and their starting pitching staff is a mess. Not sure there's a master plan there. Cohen spends a lot of money, but often foolishly. Don't disagree. Now, I would certainly hope there is a master plan. And let me tell you, one guy that I would go after is Skubal, because he's going to get traded, in my opinion. The Tigers have no choice. If they don't get prospects for him this year, they will lose him and get nothing. And I don't know, given the market size the Tigers are, they can afford to do that. Because if they get in the playoffs again, that's great. But if they don't win it with him, and then you lose him and get nothing in return, that's going to be the tough part. So maybe that's where the Mets are going to try to get that, front line deal there. Joseph says Napier now promises to James Madison what he refused to do at Florida. Yeah, look, once again, I just hope that, it'll work out. I'm surprised more of you haven't had a reaction to Michigan. It's stunning what's happened there. And who do you get? Who do you get now? I mean, is there somebody on staff there? Because I don't know their staff who could be like an interim because of where we are in this. What's that going to do to recruiting for them? The portal? Wow. I mean, that can go south in a hurry if, it isn't there. So we will just see and what goes on from there. Jim, I see the ACC wants to expand the number of teams in the playoff. That's likely because it's the only way they'll get teams in. I don't see how you could expand past 16 because of the number of games required, the amount of time involved. Back in the day, I thought the best course would be reorganize Division I into 8 conferences and 12 teams. The conference champs go to an 8-team playoff. Simple as that. No griping about who gets in because you already know you have to win your conference. But that ship has sailed. Yeah, it has. It has sailed, unfortunately. But once again, there are – go ahead and hold on just a second for the interview. So go ahead and wait just a second on that. Okay. We'll take a break. We'll come back, and then we will have more on the show for you as you listen to Sports Scene on WRUF.
Concrete is tough, long-lasting, durable. And when it's done right, it's the foundation of everything that stands strong. At Silverback Concrete, we don't just pour concrete, we build trust one slab at a time. We're a family-led team of heavy concrete specialists who sweat every detail, from footers to elevated decks. We respect your budget, we build to last, and we care about the people on the job today and those who will walk these floors tomorrow. You stand on it, we stand by it. Silverback Concrete, we've got your back. Visit silverbackconcrete.co to get started.
This holiday season, let Pomodoro Cafe bring the soul of Italy to your table. From cozy gatherings to company-wide celebrations, we cater it all. With rich, authentic Italian flavors your guests will remember long after dessert. Serving UF, Shands, HCA, and all of Alachua County, we make it easy, delicious, and unforgettable. Perfect food, seamless service, timeless flavor. Visit PomodoroCafe.com to start planning your holiday event today.
At Comfort Temp Heating and Air, we're proud to celebrate 40 years as your #1 local HVAC company. We offer energy-efficient solutions featuring quality products from Lennox. Whether it's new installation, system repairs, or routine maintenance, we promise to never sell you anything you don't need. Our professional and experienced technicians provide reliable service you can trust and will keep you informed throughout the entire process. At Comfort Temp, comfort is our business. Peace of mind is our promise.
Are you ready to raise your game when it comes to your Gators gear? Head over to Alma Mater in Gainesville. You'll find just what you need to rep your team in style. From one-of-a-kind Gator tees and hats to NIL gear, they've got the perfect Gator swag for every fan in all kinds of weather. Whether it's game day or any day, you'll be winning with officially licensed apparel found nowhere else. Locally owned, locally produced. Alma Mater, in-store at the corner of 34th and University or online at almamaterdesign.com.
Gear up to root on the Gators at the University of Florida bookstore at the Rights Union. The UF bookstore will be open from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. for all the orange and blue gear you need. There's a large selection of clearance items throughout the clothing department with many items up to 50% off original price. This is a great time to expand your Gator wardrobe and save some money too. So as you look to root on the Gators, debut some new orange and blue gear at the UF bookstore, open noon to 5 on Sunday. So to score, just remember the University of Florida bookstore inside the Rights Union on campus, and go Gators!
When you need insurance, you'd like to get great coverage for a great rate, right? The big companies tell you they will, but how can you be sure? With Ann Tom's Insurance, you're not navigating coverage choices alone. Ann Tom's is an independent agent with 35 years of experience representing over 45 companies. Having an independent agent makes a real difference. It's that simple. Ann Tom's is local and independent, not just a phone bank. Go to atomsfl.com or call 352-275-9203.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party. You see that new welcome offer? Bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. I think we got to jump on this.
What's John Daly think?
I think you got to grip it and rip it.
Grip it?
And rip it.
Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. Roll with us. New players bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Payable in bonus bets. Not a cash offer. Offered by Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
From the UF Weather Center, here is your WRUF weather update.
It's a beautiful late fall day today with abundant sunshine. 64 degrees is where we'll top out today. A little cooler than where we should be. Tonight, chilly. In fact, a frost advisory is in effect tonight, so bring those plants on in. 35 for the overnight low. Sunshine, warmer, 67 Friday, and hot as 72 sound by the time we get to Saturday and Sunday. From the WFT Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Tim Miller.
WRUF is your home for the National Football League, culminating with Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara. No one brings you the NFL like we do. WRUF.
Many thanks to Meldon Law for sponsoring all of our guests. Serving Gator Nation since 1971, the only injury law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Meldon Law won't back down. And Quality Plumbing, sponsoring our first hour of the show. We appreciate them and all of our sponsors on the show. My next guest I've had on a lot over the years because he knows his stuff. He is the senior college football reporter for On3. His name is Chris Lowe, and he now joins us. Chris, welcome. Thanks for doing this again.
Well, thank you for having me, Steve. It's always good to be with you guys.
You know, here we go, Chris, and then Michigan happens. How stunning is that?
Well, the details that are starting to filter out are pretty scary, honestly.
Yeah.
And I think we all get caught up in college football. We all have a vested interest in it, and it's a pretty emotional, passionate undertaking, especially in the South. But when you hear stuff like that, with police involvement and some allegations after his firing, I think about families and all the other people that are involved and hope that everybody's going to be okay. But it's sort of his firing and the way it went down. I wasn't 1,000% shocked because I'd been hearing rumblings all year that there may be something there with him and whether he was going to make it or not. You never know how valid that kind of thing is or not. But it just sort of, Steve, puts a cap on what's been the craziest, most chaotic hiring and firing cycle that I can ever remember in my nearly 40 years of doing this.
I'm right with you, my friend. Speaking of that, did anything stand out to you with these hirings and firings in a positive or a particularly negative way?
No, listen, we're at a place now in college football where there's so much money that's being A, generated, B, paid out to coaches and players, and schools under immense pressure to generate, the money that it takes to participate in the rev share, the $20.5 million plus over and above that money that they need to raise in NIL to be competitive with all the other, schools that are out there that are doling out serious cash. The pressure, I think now, Steve, to perform and to win at the highest level and do whatever it takes to attract great players to campus is at an all-time high. And I think patience, which has never been in abundance in college football or certainly not in the SEC, is going to be even less or so. I mean, it's just remember the old 5-year plan. I don't know now.
No way.
I don't know now that if you don't do it in 3 years, that you're gone.
Yeah. I think with Napier,
And,
that was the outlier, right?
Yeah, and Billy would have been gone had he not, done a really good job towards the end of 2 seasons ago. Clearly, he never lost the locker room, and they got better, and they played better. But he was on his way to being out that year, and was able to sort of rally the troops, so to speak. But yes, I don't think you're going to see that again. Now so what was he? He was there 4 years, is that right?
Yep.
Part of 4 years.
Yep.
2 straight losing seasons, and it looked like they were headed toward another one, and he rallied it. Yeah, I have a hard time in the SEC seeing that happen again.
Since you're talking to a Gainesville audience here, your thoughts on the Sumrall hire here for Florida?
I mean, yeah, commodity, a guy that was in play at a lot of places the last 2 years. And I think before North Carolina had a lot of interest in him before the whole board took control there and brought Belichick in. And there were other schools, too. This year, too, if you would ask me about the time Freeze was hired, I would have told you he's a lock for Auburn. And there were other schools that are interested. Certainly Arkansas was interested. His name at Penn State was another one. So there are a lot of people, much like recruiting day, signing day, Steve, people always want you to assess a signing class on the day that they have the signees. And I think, people give out grades for hires. We really don't know until a year or two away. But the way I assess hirings, who else really wanted that guy? Was he in play? Was he a guy that other schools that you have to beat and you have to compete against really wanted? And John was. And I know that everybody's going to say he wasn't their first choice. We know who Florida's first choice was. They didn't get him. They swung big. They did everything they could to try to get him. It didn't happen. But John was certainly a guy who was on a lot of teams' radars, a lot of schools' radar out there. And what was a hiring cycle, as I mentioned a minute ago, that was as chaotic. And you look at all the jobs that were open, and you can point your finger at a lot of those, and a lot of them were very interested in John.
Chris, let me ask in a sort of a global sense here, because you've done this a long time, as I have. With all the either the negative or the uncertainty around college football, the sport's never been more popular. And that doesn't make sense to me sometimes if you just think about it rationally. But in your view, does there have to be a tweak of the playoff? Does there have to be a tweak of how many teams, conference champions, all of that? Where do you sit with that?
Well, I'll start with the playoff. The playoff is a flawed system. It has been flawed for a long time. Our dear friend Roy Kramer, who we lost last week, used to always tell me that there's never going to be a perfect system in college football to determine a champion, because it's just never going to be apples to apples and oranges to oranges. Different conferences, different schedules. I mean, heck, even within a conference, the schedule imbalance is pretty glaring sometimes. I mean, you look at Florida's schedule last few years compared to other school schedules, for instance.
Yep.
But I think going forward, number one, I do think the field will expand. And that's not going to be the end-all solution. But at least this year, if there were 16 teams, Vanderbilt would have gotten in, Notre Dame would have gotten in, probably Texas would have gotten in. But you're still going to have 17, 18, much like the NCAA hoops tournament.
Exactly.
You're still going to have 17, 18, 19 that are complaining.
Yep.
I think the conference affiliation, and I know everybody's going to say, well, wait a minute, are you saying get rid of the conference championship games? I'm not saying that definitively, but I know there's been a lot of discussion. And in the SEC in particular, I think there's a push to go straight seed, Steve, 1 through 12, 1 through 16.
Uh-huh.
And you know what? If you won the Big Ten that year, then it doesn't necessarily factor in the fact that you won a conference championship, because all conferences aren't created equal, and they're all and year to year, it's different, right?
Yes.
So 1 year, so I'd like to see if the 4 best teams this year. I think probably, I don't care if you cut your teeth in the SEC, the Big Ten, wherever. I think most people would say the three or four of the top teams in the country were from the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Indiana and Ohio State and Oregon were all good football teams.
Yep.
And it really shouldn't matter, you know, where you're in the conference. I mean, the ACC was not a very strong conference this year. I mean, Duke won the championship.
Right.
Now, they didn't get in the playoff, but they did win the conference championship. So, to me, if you want to get the 12 best teams in, then you can't be hung up on two things. You can't be hung up on who wins conference championships. And two, and I'm not saying to kick all the group of 5 teams to the curb, but maybe you have a playoff, much like you do, or play-in, like you do in hoops, where the 2 best or the 2 highest-ranked group of 5 teams play an extra game to see who gets in. But if you're going to have the inclusivity part of it, which I know that's important right now, then don't say these are the 12 best teams in college football. Do you think Notre Dame would be favored over James Madison? Do you think Texas would be favored over James Madison? Would Vanderbilt be favored over James Madison? Absolutely, they would be.
Yep.
So it's not the 12 best teams. It's the 12 teams in this current system that they can justify putting in there.
Very quickly, do you think a group of 5 playoff would work?
I don't know what the numbers would be as far as how interested the networks would be. You know, would be a money maker, that type of thing. And you know as well as I do, it all gets down to money.
Yes, it does.
I think a better solution would be to go to 16, and that 16 spot
goes to them.
You have a playoff. You have a play-in where you have at least 2 teams that have a shot to get in there, and you know, and the rest of them go to bowls. Or let's maybe there's another caveat here, Steve. Maybe you say if a team finishes in the top 10 in a group of 5, that they automatically get a spot. I think that's fair, because if you finish in the top 10, then that means you've had a great season and you've beaten some teams maybe out of conference. Maybe you beat a Florida. But let's say South Florida, for instance, this year. If South Florida had run the table and been unbeaten, well, they had a win over Florida.
Yep.
Maybe there's another. I don't know if did they play Miami? I can't remember if they played Miami.
They did, lost. Yep.
Okay, but let's say a team like that, hypothetically, beats both of those teams and runs the table in their conference. Well, you know what? They deserve to be in because they're going to be ranked in the top 10. You know, but don't just to carve out a spot for a group of 5 team, again, is a little bit disingenuous if you say we're trying to find the 12 best teams in college football.
Where can people see your work?
On3.com. Just a lot of movings and comings and goings, and we published our All-American team yesterday. Jake Slaughter was our first team center. I know it's been a tough year for Florida on offense, but I'll tell you what, every pro scout, every coach that I trust, when I started talking about interior offensive lineman, his name was one of the first they mentioned.
Interesting. Always appreciate you, Chris. Thank you for your time and your friendship over the years, and have a great holiday, too.
Okay, same to you guys. Thank you, Steve.
Okay, Chris. Knows his stuff. Chris Lowe, On3 senior college football reporter. That's our first hour. Hour 2 coming up. Still plenty of guests. There'll be time for you to call in, too, with your emails as well. And again, want to thank our first hour sponsor, Quality Plumbing, for being here on the show as you listen to Sports Scene on WRUF.
No one brings you the NFL like we do. WRUF.
Want to get your brand noticed? At Radware, we help you stand out with custom corporate apparel, branded uniforms, and promotional swag that gets attention. From trade shows to team uniforms, we've got you covered. Radware even works with major names like the University of Florida. Boost your brand visibility today. Visit radware.com. That's radware.com, and let your brand shine.
The holidays are here, and Miapa has your meal ready. Give your kitchen the night off and order a holiday dinner from Miapa for your family gathering, holiday party, or corporate event. Miapa's got your entire meal covered, from the roasted turkey or pernil ham to your favorite Miapa sides, like rice and beans, Cuban bread, and of course, sweet plantains. All starting at $109.99. With 6 convenient locations, no one caters better than Miapa. Don't let cooking get in the way of a great meal. Get your holiday dinner at Miapa Latin Cafe.
Looking for a roof you can trust to weather any storm? Atlantic Roofing has been covering North Central Florida for over 20 years. We're a third-generation, locally owned roofing company. From Alachua to Marion, Bradford, Levy, Gilchrist, Columbia, and beyond, we've got your home, your business, and your back. Visit AtlanticRoofing.com or call today for your free estimate. Atlantic Roofing, where quality rises above.
Domino's carryout deal means you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each when you order online or by phone. Just in case there's any confusion, we've even set up a helpful website to confirm if today is a day you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each. Just go to howaboutoday.com to find out if Domino's carryout deal is valid today. Spoiler alert, it is. Carryout only. Ask for this offer. Availability and charges may vary. Size availability varies by crust type. Excludes XL and specialty. Your local store may charge extra for some toppings and sauces.
P.F. Chang's Gainesville is serving up incredible lunch specials starting at just $11.99. So if you're in the mood for Asian fusion cuisine, stop in for lunch today. And don't miss happy hour, Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. with $5.99 beers, $6.99 wines, and $8.99 cocktails. Make your next lunch or afternoon unwind unforgettable at P.F. Chang's Gainesville, your destination for lunch and happy hour.
Gator fans, this one's for you. Introducing Castaway Sauce Company, the hot sauce made by Gators for Gators. Their signature ball kicker hot sauce is inspired by Steve Spurrier's famous kick that beat Auburn in '66. If you love hot sauce with real flavor, not just heat and vinegar, Castaway delivers. Available at select public supermarkets, Castaway Sauce Company is founded by a lifelong Gator and proud UF alum. From mild to wild, they've got a flavor for every Gator tailgate. Grab your Castaway hot sauce today and taste the tradition. Learn more at CastawaySauceCompany.com.
This holiday season, give a gift that truly saves lives. A life jacket isn't just smart, it's essential for every boater you love. Whether they're cruising Florida's lakes or fishing offshore, safety should always come first. Before your holiday shopping, visit wearitflorida.com for life jacket guidelines and make this holiday unforgettable, because the best gift you can give is life. Brought to you by the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. Life jackets save lives. Wear it, Florida.
From the Spurrier's Gridiron Grill Studio, WRUF Gainesville, W251CG Gainesville, WRUF FM HD2, and on the WRUF radio app. This program is paid for by Weeby Marketing. The godfather of Gator Sports Talk Radio has returned.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
It's Sports Scene with Steve Russell. Time to eat some lunch and talk some Gator sports.
Sports Scene with Steve Russell is fueled by Southeast Car Agency and brought to you in part by International Diamond Center, Domino's, Atlantic Roofing, Meldon Law, Los Linderos Tequila, Comfort Temp, Campus USA Credit Union, Pomodoro Cafe, Titan MRI and Imaging, Silverback Concrete, Ruse Ogra State Farm, Crystal Air, Miapa Latin Cafe, Radware, Fairlife Milk, Gator Trim Lights, Quality Plumbing, Doreen Wiebe Realtor Caldwell Banker, and The Head Beer Coach.
Now, here's Steve Russell, right here on WRUF.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to Hour 2 of Sports Scene for this Thursday. I'm Steve Russell. Thank you for making us part of your day. Appreciate you doing that. Love talking sports with you as we come to you live from the Gator Trim Light Studio, as always, fueled by our friends at Southeast Car Agency. We're going to go right to our Titan MRI Imaging phone line, and also want to make sure that we thank our second hour sponsor, Crystal Air and Water, servicing air conditioners, heat pumps, and furnaces for all of North Central Florida. They're not comfortable until you are. Well, I'm comfortable bringing in my next guest because he knows his stuff. Dalton Wasserman has been with us talking NFL for a lot of the year from Pro Football Focus. Dalton, it's amazing that in this day and age of, the quarterback maybe being the most important position in sports, we're talking about a 44-year-old coming out of retirement. Pretty stunning, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is, and I don't really know what to expect, whether or not the Colts are going to start Riley Leonard or Phillip Rivers on Sunday, but it just speaks to how desperate the Colts are right now, right, with their season on the line. They've fallen out of first place after such a good start, starting 7-1. Daniel Jones and his injury. Don't forget Anthony Richardson and that freak accident he had pregame 1 week, and that's the reason he's not playing in this game. So, look, the Colts are trying to find any way they can to save this season. They have a good team. They've got a good run game. Their defense has played reasonably well, but if you don't have a quarterback, it's very hard to win in the league, and this is how desperate they are right now.
You know, I wasn't too sure about the Jags starting the year, Dalton, but I think Liam Cohen is in line to be a Coach of the Year candidate. They're just a much tougher, more physical team, and they do a good job on defense. What's your thoughts on the Jags?
I think that's a great way to put it, Steve, is that they are a much more physical team than they have been the past several years. They can really run the football with some pieces they added on that offensive line, and Travis Etienne's been really good all year. Their defense is so much better. I can't say enough for the job that their defensive coordinator, Anthony Campanile, has done with that defense. They've got studs like Devin Lloyd and Josh Hines-Allen, and again, they play a really physical brand of football on both sides of the ball, and now it feels like the last piece we were waiting for, Trevor Lawrence, to get a little more consistent. Feels like the last couple weeks he's starting to do that, and if he continues that towards the end of the season here, they are going to be very, very dangerous.
Are the Ravens and Chiefs done?
I think the Chiefs are just about done. I'm going to save it for the Ravens for maybe another week or so. We'll see how they can come into Cincinnati and play against a Joe Burrow-led team that beat them a couple weeks ago. But the Chiefs at this point, they really need a lot to happen in their favor, starting with a win this week against the Chargers. That would be huge to at least give them a chance. But I think the Chiefs are just about done. The Ravens, being that they play in a weaker division, at least have a pulse for now.
You know, a team that's fascinating to me, Dalton, or the Patriots, in that Vrabel's come in there and completely turned them around. Now, do they have a favorable schedule? Yes. A division that they play in? Yes. But you never see them on national television, and yet they're sitting where they are. Has his performance and what the Patriots have done surprised you?
Yeah, to this level, yeah. I thought they would be improved. They brought in a lot of nice veteran talent, and I thought had a really good draft. I figured they might be somewhere around a 500 team, maybe a fringy wild card contender. I did not think they'd be in contention for the number one seed, but you mentioned it. That coaching staff, a veteran coaching staff, Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels in particular, doing an outstanding job coaching that team. And then they brought in a lot of the right veterans to go in with that young team that they have, right? A guy like Stephon Diggs at wide receiver, a guy like Robert Spillane at linebacker. It's just the right mix of guys, and they've gotten through just about every bit of adversity that they have gone through, even though they've won, 10 games in a row now. And you're looking at this team having a chance to clinch their division this week against the Bills. I mean, it is shocking that they turn this around at this level this quickly.
It amazes me. Maybe we took for granted the career year Barkley had last year, and if you're measuring against that standard, you know, he's struggled. He's had a decent year. But why are the Eagles having trouble scoring?
It's a combination of things. I mean, keep in mind, too, they lost their offensive coordinator again in Kellen Moore taking the Saints head coaching job. The offense has not been creative at all. They're not getting under center enough and using enough deception in their offense. The offensive line simply has not been as good. You know, in past years, we've talked about this offensive line being the best in football, and this year they've been much more average, and they've dealt with some injuries. And then Saquon himself took on such a heavy workload last year. Yes, a record-setting year, but also, you know, one of the highest total touches numbers in the history of the NFL. You got to come back and recover with a shorter offseason after that. I just think there's a combination of factors. It's Jalen Hurts, it's the run game, it's the play calling, a little bit of everything that's really contributing to those struggles right now. That's why the Eagles don't look great.
Dalton Wasserman joining us here, Pro Football Focus, talking a little National Football League. Sean Payton is not Mr. Personality and really never has been. But again, I didn't think the Broncos would be, 11-2 or whatever they are. Have they surprised you at all?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I still like the Chiefs to win that division coming into the season just because they had won 9 in a row and they had the reputation. But Denver's certainly up and coming, and you look at how good they are in the trenches is where it really starts for them. Well, that's where Sean Payton takes pride. His offensive line and his defensive line are outstanding, and they make the lives of everybody around them so much easier, including their quarterback, Bo Nix, right? And they've had to deal with some injuries, especially J.K. Dobbins at running back. They're trying to figure out how to run the football and balance some things out. But as long as you're as good in the trenches as they are, because you could argue they're the best trench team in the league right now, that gives you that floor week in and week out to go, okay, we know things are going to be fine in there. We just got to figure it out with the skill guys around it, and they've done that so far.
A coach left for dead was in Miami, and all of a sudden they're in the fringe of the playoffs. Does he save his job?
I think he has, honestly, unless you get a collapse in them losing their last 4 games. But they're back at least on the fringe of a wild card race. They're playing a lot better, right? Offensively, they've kind of losing Tyreek Hill was such a big loss, but they've run the football well and they've figured out what their wheelhouse is on offense. And their defense, it's not fantastic, but they're just playing more fundamentally sound football than the first half of the year. And that might not sound like a big deal, but for a team that was really reeling early in the season, what did they start, 1-6? I mean, anything helps, right? So they've been better on both sides of the ball, and it's real interesting to see if they win this week in Pittsburgh, because if they get that win, all of a sudden you really talk about them like, you know what, at least they have a chance if they were to stay hot here and win out.
Last 2 things for you. Houston is a team I wouldn't want to play right now. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. That's arguably the best defense in football. They're finding their groove on offense. It's not clicking on all cylinders yet, but that might be a reason that they're even more dangerous, because if they do find it with C.J. Stroud and the run game and everything else that they have the weapons to do it. They just got to block well enough. If they start firing on all cylinders offensively, they're extremely dangerous, because no matter who you're playing right now, if you're playing Houston, you're not scoring more than 20 points, and that's a major asset to have going into the postseason.
Last thing. I've never been a Cowboys fan from when I was a child. America's team, all that nonsense, okay? For all the hype that they get, there's, 6-6, I think? Where is this franchise? I just don't see the hype around this franchise. Tell me I'm wrong.
In total this year, they're exactly what their record says they are, right? They're 6-1. They are an average football team with, some strengths like Dak Prescott and the passing game, right? And then some weaknesses like their secondary. They've gotten better on the defensive line. That Quinnen Williams trade has helped them up front. The pass rush is a lot better, but is it too little too late? They're going to have to win all of their games and still hope that Philadelphia loses a couple to get ahead of them with that tie and everything like that. But they're every bit of a decent football team with a very good veteran quarterback, but they have enough flaws on defense that have obviously held them back this year. So, again, I think their record says what they are. They're an average team who on any given day they can beat you, but on any given day, like you saw last week against Detroit, they can give up 40-something points, and that's really a problem. When your defense is that inconsistent, it's hard to win week in and week out.
Last question for you. Pete Carroll's a great coach, but the Raiders are awful. They're just god-awful. Does he get let go? Do you think there's a chance he wouldn't coach next year?
I think there's definitely a chance. I would actually describe it right now, I think, as probably 50-50. Wow. I don't see any way, especially with as high as they're going to be picking in the draft, potentially getting a new quarterback. I don't think Geno Smith is going to stay. He has regressed back into just a level that I didn't think he would be this bad at all this season, certainly. And Pete Carroll, along with that, if they want to go with a full reset, both at head coach and quarterback, they have an opportunity to do that. It's one of the biggest decisions in football that's going to have to be made probably by early to mid-March, if not sooner. But I expect Geno Smith not to be their starting quarterback. I think they're going to draft a new one, and the decision then is going to be, will Pete Carroll be the guy to lead the team? I really think it might be 50-50 right now.
Interesting. Where can people see your work, Dalton?
PFF.com, as always, with a PFF Plus subscription, promo code HOLIDAY30 for 30% off. And then, as always, a PFF NFL show and the PFF College Football show on YouTube. We're loading up for the College Football Playoff with our preview content starting tomorrow and going all the way through next week.
Always good stuff. You guys do a great job with Pro Football Focus. Thanks for your time, and have a great holiday. I appreciate you being here all year long.
Appreciate you, as always, Steve. Thank you.
Thank you, Dalton. He knows his stuff. Dalton Wasserman, Pro Football Focus. We'll take a break. We'll come back, and when we do, I'm going to talk a little college basketball with you. Stay with us on Sports Scene on WRUF. Friends, if somebody's been in business for 45-plus years, doesn't that tell you something? Trust, longevity. Well, that is the case with my friends at Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville. The Cousins family has operated that business for the past 45-plus years, and they specialize in just one thing. They give you the best alternative you have to purchasing a new vehicle, the best in late-model, low-mileage vehicles. Great variety, great selection. I'm driving one now, have been for years. Go see them today, Southeast Car Agency, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue, Gainesville.
Transform your home with Gator Trim Lights. Professionally installed, permanent outdoor lighting that disappears by day and dazzles by night. Our patented color-matched channel blends seamlessly with your roofline. No clips, no wires, just a clean, custom look. Use the Easy app to light up the holidays, birthdays, game days, any day. Energy efficient, built to last, and backed by a lifetime product warranty. Schedule your free estimate today at GatorTrimLight.com.
When the unexpected happens, you need a legal team that's ready to fight for you, just like the Florida Gators. At Meldon Law, we're proud to partner with the Florida Gators to deliver winning results for those who have been injured at no fault of their own. With a strong record of success and a team that won't back down, Meldon Law is your trusted partner in tough times. Call Meldon Law at 352-373-8000 or visit us at meldonlaw.com.
After you work out, you can feel worn out. Reach for Core Power and rise to a whole new level of recovery. Protein to build muscle. Electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to power on. Champion your recovery with Core Power.
Hey, have you ever talked to Ruse Agra over at State Farm?
Oh yeah, Ruse is awesome. Helped me get a ton of coverage for way less than I expected, and he serves all of North Florida. Super friendly too, actually takes time to explain everything.
Really? I thought State Farm would be pricey.
Nope, surprisingly great rates. You get that neighborly service you don't find everywhere. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I might give Ruse at State Farm a call.
You should. Call 352-240-1779 for a free quote. You'll be glad you did.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
90 years ago, 9 University of Florida faculty members started something big, Campus USA Credit Union, the first credit union on a U.S. college campus. Today, Campus USA is 160,000 members strong, proudly serving the community with auto loans, business loans, mortgages, and more. Whether you're just starting out or building your future, Campus is here to help you every step of the way. Stop by any Campus location or join the team at campuscu.com. Campus USA Credit Union, celebrating 90 years of better banking.
In the mood for a delicious Asian fusion cuisine for lunch? Then head to P.F. Chang's in Gainesville. They have lunch specials starting at just $11.99. Happy hour, Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. Enjoy $5.99 beers, $6.99 wines, and $8.99 cocktails. Wednesdays are girls' night with half-price wine and champagne bottles. And any day, anytime, sip house and lucky cocktails for $8.99. Celebrate every meal at P.F. Chang's Gainesville, your destination for lunch, drinks, and fun.
Look at your hood, your bumper, that door ding you swore you'd fix last year. Mako sees it too, and we make it easy to take care of, from scratches to full makeovers. We've been trusted for over 50 years to get cars looking like new again. And we're not just for drivers like you and me. Mako is the largest fleet cosmetic repair provider in the country. So whether it's one car or 50, go with the brand you can trust. Better get Mako. Visit Mako.com or stop by Mako in Gainesville today on Main Street.
Your home for Gator basketball is WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and anywhere in the world on the WRUF mobile app.
Welcome back to Sports Scene, sponsored this hour by Crystal Air and Water. Giselle is now producing today. And again, if you have any Facebook Live questions, she'll forward them to me, courtesy of Ruse Agra State Farm, and YouTube questions, courtesy of Campus USA Credit Union. We're going to talk some basketball now. A long-time friend of our show here, Mike DeCourcy, been covering college basketball for the Sporting News for a long time. Mike, I got your message. If you have to go, I understand, certainly. Welcome back. Here in Gainesville, the defending champions are 5-4, and there's some angst here, but they've lost to some pretty good teams, and they're still kind of finding their way. What do you see with this Florida team so far?
Yeah, I think first you say that the schedule has been extraordinarily challenging, and some of the teams that have done that, Arizona, UConn, a few others, it hasn't mattered. Duke is another. They have conquered their difficult schedules and have done very well. Others, like Kentucky and the Gators, have struggled for various reasons and to varying degrees. And I don't think that that any Florida fan at this stage would trade rosters or circumstances for what Kentucky's going through right now. So got to think about the level of angst that you're experiencing. I can give you the reasons to be excited, and it starts with Thomas Houck. I mean, he has been fantastic. He's played like an All-American through the first several games. Not a surprise to me. I think I had him on our preseason All-America team. I know he's been one of my favorite players since I got to watch 4 games of their run to the championship last year. I was at their sub-regional as well as the Final Four and absolutely fell in love with him as a player. He's fantastic. And the position switch has not impacted his ability to impact games. He's been outstanding. There's still you still want to get more out of Alex Condon, especially in the tougher games. You still want to have maybe a little bit more defined role for Chinaloo, although I think he's been coming along. I thought there were some good moments at the end of the most recent game. And then Xavier Lee, who at the start of the season was really struggling with the change in role and the change in circumstance, and looked the other night like he's starting to come along.
Who are some other teams early now, Mike, that you like?
Well, I really still I really still believe in Houston. I know that they've kind of they kind of got shoved off the front page, so to speak, to use an analogy more of my era, because they lost in Vegas, but I still think that they have a chance to be special. Purdue got knocked back a little bit. I mean, right now my number 1 overall seed is Duke because they're the most accomplished team. I still think they have a few holes in the way they're doing things, and I'm not sure whether, like a year ago, they tried to get by at point guard with a very good player. Sion James is in the NBA now, I think. Last time I looked, he was, and so that circumstance is really good, but they need to have more confirmation at the point guard spot, and I think that's it. And I do have to go, Steve. I'm so sorry.
Okay, Mike, I appreciate it. We'll get you back. Thank you. He had an emergency that he had to take care of at work, but he at least came on and let you know his thoughts here. And, Mike, thank you for doing that. Okay, that opens up some time here for us. 392-8255. That's the Titan MRI Imaging phone line, the International Diamond Center email, askrussell@wruf.com. Kurt says, it's a lot like they say after a divorce. They never would do that with me. Sometimes some pain can teach you to change your ways. Hope you keep trying to get Sumrall, Strickland, Caldwell, coordinator, staff, and others involved on the air. Same can be said for them. Being more transparent, sharing the truth with the fans can go a long way toward controlling negative, false narratives and speculation to keep building trust with the fans. It's a big part of the gig. Kurt, I can assure you, and I always have, any coach is welcome here anytime. A, I love doing the interviews, but B, I think just for what you said, I think hearing the coach, outside of a stiff, press conference setting is good. And I am going to really work at that. I promise you. BB says, with Michigan, kind of shocked, could have had an idea sooner. Maybe was unavoidable. What do they do? And the newly hired head coaches had any ties to coaching in that area of the country. And with Bowles, he says, ignoring that some ADs took their football and teams home. Some players opted out due for shopping for a new Lamborghini. Which of the non-playoff related bowls jump out to you as being interesting? I'm actually going to do that tomorrow because I think a few of them are. But once again, right, which teams are interested, which teams show up, I think that's a big deal here. Greg, since Bama's opened the door for making the CFP with 3 losses, do you see more 3-loss teams making it in years to come? Yes, I do, for 2 reasons. One, I do think strength of schedule matters, and that's one of the factors that and Alabama got to the championship game that got them in. And number 2, I think they're going to expand the field at some point. So if the field is expanded, I think you will see, more teams in this. I don't think it's a matter of if, Greg, they're going to expand it. I just think it's a matter of when. I really do believe that is going to happen. By the way, I still want to hear from you today. So one more interview is coming up, and then the final segment will have time for your questions, calls, and comments. but I really like this time of the year. It's my favorite time of the year. And tomorrow, we are going to play Santa Claus. That's right. We're going to be Santee because WRUF has given away 4 pair of 4-day passes to Welcome to Rockville tomorrow. Of course, that's going to be at Daytona. So 4 pairs of 4-day passes. 1 pair given during each of our shows. That's tomorrow. Okay? The song you listen for is Paradise City by Guns N' Roses. When you hear it, be the 9th caller, you'll win a pair of 4-day passes. Again, passes. 1 winner for each show, and no repeat winners. If you win, do not call and get more. You will be refused. You'll be denied. You'll be X'd. So don't do that. Okay? And don't forget the Rally House gift card play of the week during Sports Lab with Kevin. That'll be at 2 o'clock as well. So again, that's going to be tomorrow. Merry, merry, happy, happy from us. And we'll do that all day tomorrow. Philip says, Steve, do you wish Billy Napier well? Yes, I do. Billy was terrific to me. And nothing but good to say about him. So, yes. And I'm still hopeful of getting an interview with him, if he'll do it. Now, he's been a little busy. I get it. But I hope that sometime, he will take some time to either do it here or do it, on the phone. But I'm hoping that can work. All right, we'll get David's call very quickly here. David, hello.
Hey, Steve. Hey, talking about the bowls, I think they have become meaningless, especially with the money these athletes are making now. Back in the day, when you got to go to a bowl, it may have been exciting to go tour a aircraft carrier and get a watch, but when most of these athletes are making more than their parents are making, I don't know that appeals to them a whole lot, Steve. And the last thing real quick is the thing with Michigan, you had to know that with it coming as late as it did, there was a cause or a cause factor involved in that firing. Have a good one, Steve.
All right. Thank you, David. We'll take a break. We'll come back, and then we're going to talk Santa Fe College. They're right down the street here. Women's basketball coach David Lowry will join us next as we bring in the final half hour of a sports scene for a Thursday here on WRUF.
Your home for Thursday night football, right here on WRUF.
It's football season, touchdowns and celebrations, and unfortunately, injuries. If you're injured, call Titan MRI and Imaging. No need to deal with long wait times and high costs to get your scans done. Titan MRI and Imaging will save you time and money. And the experience at Titan MRI and Imaging, much more personal than the sterile atmosphere of a hospital. Joe and his team are personally involved and will guide you through the entire process at any of their 3 convenient locations. So if you need a scan, call Titan MRI and Imaging. Learn more at TitanMRI.com.
International Diamond Center's values are so compelling, it's not unusual to see people here that are not local.
Every day, we have people that drive an hour and a half, even 2 hours.
IDC owner Keith LeClaire.
People are willing to drive because they've heard it's not a typical jewelry store.
For example, did you know IDC has one of the largest selections of luxury pre-owned Rolexes in America?
You're going to want to come to IDC. It's worth the drive.
International Diamond Center in Celebration Point and online at shopidc.com.
Every great team is built on a solid game plan, sharp execution, and total trust in the crew beside you. At Quality Plumbing, we bring that same championship mindset to every job we do. For over 40 years, we've been the starting lineup for homes and businesses across North Central Florida, delivering reliable service, expert craftsmanship, and big wins for our customers. Call us today or visit qualityplumbing.com. We're your first string team. License number CFC 043073.
Need a new AC and wondering who to call? I'm Kirk Smith, owner of Crystal Air and Water. Our team of professionals are strongly committed to responsiveness, problem resolution, customer satisfaction, and service excellence. We promise to meet the heating and cooling needs of your home with the most effective and energy-efficient products available. Maybe that's why we're the most liked AC company on Facebook. Follow us today. Crystal Air and Water, online at acpenguin.com.
License number CMC 1249384.
Yes, I'm calling Crystal Air and Water.
Call Crystal.
Looking for a roof you can trust to weather any storm? Atlantic Roofing has been covering North Central Florida for over 20 years. We're a third-generation, locally owned roofing company. From Alachua to Marion, Bradford, Levy, Gilchrist, Columbia, and beyond, we've got your home, your business, and your back. Visit AtlanticRoofing.com or call today for your free estimate. Atlantic Roofing, where quality rises above.
The holidays are here and Miapa has your meal ready. Give your kitchen the night off and order a holiday dinner from Miapa for your family gathering, holiday party, or corporate event. Miapa's got your entire meal covered, from the roasted turkey or pernil ham to your favorite Miapa sides, like rice and beans, Cuban bread, and of course, sweet plantains. All starting at $109.99. With 6 convenient locations, no one caters better than Miapa. Don't let cooking get in the way of a great meal. Get your holiday dinner at Miapa Latin Cafe.
The best conversations happen with Los Linderos tequila, like this recent conversation between 2 Gator legends.
Coach, you know what always impressed me? How you beat Florida State to win the 1996 national championship.
And I was really impressed with your 06, 08, and 09 Gator teams.
And the way you coached Danny to the Heisman Trophy.
A lot like what you did with Tim Tebow.
To the Swamp and the Gators, with the best beverage served at Spur's Gridiron Grill. 100% agave, Los Linderos tequila. Aged in bourbon barrels for a smoother taste.
The Tailgate with Jeff Cardozo and Zach Albuquerque. Weekdays at 4, right here on WRUF.
Well, for those who are listening locally, don't forget, with all the sports here on the Florida campus, Santa Fe College is in the midst of its basketball season now. Going to bring back an old friend to the program here. He's coaching the women's basketball team over there. David Lowry now joins us. David, man, good to catch back up. How are you?
I'm doing great, Steve. How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for doing this. Okay, for those who don't know about your past and, you know, being in Gainesville and then coming to Santa Fe, just sort of go through that journey a little bit.
Definitely. I actually started coaching for the Gators in 07, was hired with Amanda Butler in 07. From Charlotte, got a chance to come to Gainesville with her, obviously former Gator, worked for the Gators from 07 to 15, from 15 to 19, got a chance to go to the University of North Florida, and obviously just been rolling from there, got a chance to coach and recruit a couple Gator greats from Santa Fe College, Lanita Bartley, point guard, Steffi Sorensen, obviously prolific three-point shooter, now ESPN analyst, and so it's been a great run, and obviously now I'm in the seat of Chanda Stebbins, who was the goal of Santa Fe women's basketball.
Thus far this season, tell me about your year so far.
It's been a good year. I mean, obviously the win column doesn't show that, but obviously we've been in every game. We played our first game back in end of October. We played Lewisburg, ended up losing to those guys by 9. It was a tie game with 2:50 left, and all my freshmen showed up and officially started to give the ball away. But that was our first game of the season. And then went into November, lost our home opener by 2, lost at Tallahassee by 3, ended up winning against Edward Waters and Wayne County. Edward Waters, which is out of Jacksonville, really showed up that game, 105-28. Kids played really well offensively. And then our next game was against Wayne County, so we ended up winning 2 in a row. Really put up some points both of those games. Wayne County, traditionally out of the Detroit area, a really good program up in that area. Kids really took care of business. And then we ended up having Tallahassee here at home. Was up 17-18 at some point, and the floodgates opened up turnovers. We just couldn't take care of the ball, ended up losing by 4 to them. And then last weekend we ended up losing by 11 to St. Pete. You know, again, just I think it's been a season of trial and error, living and learning. We didn't rebound against St. Pete, and they really outmuscled us on the boards. You know, just the ability to be able to compete again on the glass was something we didn't do a very good job, of. And, were we the talented team? Yeah, by far. But, in the end, it's all about the other things that matter, and it's just competing, getting on the glass and rebounding that. And that came in and actually bit us in the butt and hurt us pretty hard. So that's where we're at. I was talking to somebody the other day. I was like, these close games kill you. I'd rather lose by 20 than lose by 4 or 3 or 2, man. But I think for me, where I see us at is we're definitely making, we're progressing. I think we're getting better. I always, try to judge that by how we start practice, how we compete, how we show up. And I really think we're getting there. Is it going to hopefully pay off toward the most important part of which is the conference season that really jumps in January when we get back? For sure. But I definitely think we're getting better.
You got some local kids on the roster, too. Tell us about them.
Yeah, I've got a couple young ladies, two from the Hawthorne area, one from the Rock, one from the Villages. And so Zaya McCray, who's actually one of my starters as a freshman. She started her career at PK Young, ended up finishing up her career down at the Villages. She comes in, plays the off-guard spot for us, really jumped out the gates, as a freshman for us. She's been really doing some good stuff number-wise. I actually, like I said, I really depend on her to, come off the bench and really, not off the bench, but obviously start for us and, put up some numbers and just really be unique for us. She's right now averaging about 11 points a game, 2 rebounds, shooting 36% from the floor. Really good freshman. I think she's got a chance to be pretty good. Again, I think just learning to adjust to the speed of the game and just kind of what that means on the next level, not high school anymore. I've got another young lady by the name of Demaya Adams, who actually probably had her best game of the season this past Saturday. She ended up having 14 points, I believe, came off the bench for us. She's a natural scorer, man. She has instincts that, you can't teach. She's a pesky little defender. Again, I think the speed of the game, the consistency of the game, just really trying to find her place is something that I think she's slowly getting right now. And then our last player from the area that's gotten quality time most recently is Jalea Jackson. She's been battling a few injuries, but we've been able to put her in the last 2-3 games, and she's becoming a fan favorite in the stands. They call her Tootie. That's her nickname. And Tootie is our JUCO version of Audie Crooks from Iowa State. And she's just, great frame on her, really does a good job of positioning on the block. Her footwork's amazing. Just really trying to get her in a little bit more better shape and obviously nurse some injuries, man. But those kids they're pretty talented, man. They just got to adjust to the speed and the level of the game and just the tempo and intensity of what it brings to the table. Our last freshman is Audrey Hubbard. She's been nursing sickness and knee injuries, so we're hoping to get her back this weekend. She's practiced the last couple of days, but she's obviously hit that, I call it that freshman bug, man, where you just think when you think you're moving, then you take one more step back, and then you got to get up again, and it just keeps happening, man. But she's fighting through mentally. But the good group of kids, man, really excited about them and their future here. Hopefully, they obviously see themselves progressing more, but they're definitely getting better, man. So definitely excited about them.
If somebody wants to come out and watch your team play, you got any games coming up here home they can come watch?
Yeah, absolutely. So we open up against Eastern Florida this Wednesday at 5 p.m. Against Eastern Florida. That'll be our only home game before we come back in January. But super excited. I get a chance to coach against a former coworker of mine who I got a chance to win a national championship with at Northwest Florida, Zach Banks. So we got Eastern here this next Wednesday coming up. So we'd love to have people come out and support us.
Well, David, it's great to have you back. When you get further into your season, we'll have you back. But it sounds like this is a fun group to coach.
It is, man. We literally just had our staff Christmas party, and Coach Stebbins asked, what are you thankful for? What are you, appreciative of? And I did. I mentioned my team, and I really appreciate, how hard they work, how they get in the gym, how they've obviously been receptive to me and my staff. We've used this week to, really focus on the skill development piece because we've been in exams. And so I'm actually heading over to campus in a little bit. We got graduation going over here at Santa Fe. So UF has been gracious enough to let us use the practice facility every day this evening. So we got practice at 5. And so we get in there at 4 o'clock. We do an hour worth of skill development. And just really get in there, man, and grind, man. And they've really, really bought into it. And so I'm appreciative and excited about them because we're getting better. And I think they want to get better. They want to represent Santa Fe, and they want to keep growing. And so I'm excited about the group that they bring us for sure.
When you see Coach Stebbins, make sure you tell her hello from me. Thank you for taking the time. Enjoy your holiday. We'll get you back as the season progresses, David.
Definitely, Steve. Thank you, man, and happy holidays, and go Saints.
Appreciate you. Thank you, David. Good guy. And, again, I was doing women's basketball radio when he was here, so I've known him a long time. All right, let's get quickly here. Malik, in my opinion, the beloved Bama shouldn't have gotten in. The SEC championship should have been Georgia versus A&M, which would have left Bama out. Or going into the SEC championship, Bama should have been on notice. If they lost, no matter what, they were out. You can't do that, though, Malik. You can't say to a team, if you lose, you're out, because there's other factors that go into who makes it and who doesn't. He said, we're rewarding losses, and I'm totally against that. Okay, entitled to that, Malik. Let's get to John. Hello, John.
Hey, thanks for having my call, Steve. I tell you what, as far as I'm concerned, this college football playoff thing, and either shorten it to 6 games or expand it to 18 or 20 games. Because I tell you what, you telling me that James Madison and Tulane are going to be ranked ahead of Texas and Notre Dame at the end of the year? Because they should be now, because they're in the 12-team playoff system. I don't get it. The whole thing's a farce the way it is right now. What do you think?
It's going to be tweaked. I think that's coming. And I think most people who follow the sport think that's coming. Now, is it going to be expanded? I think it is. I don't know that you'll see more than one group of 5 team in it. So, I mean, there's certainly tweaks to be made to it. And look, no disrespect, it's cool. You know, one of the things I think I lose sight of is how cool it is for James Madison to be in there, right? I mean, those kids are going to have that chance to play, and it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for them. So great for the school, great for them, great for Tulane, right? And it's a showcase. It just so happens that Summerall's there, who's Florida's next coach. So I think there's a little more added interest because of that. But I do think it's going to get expanded. I do think it's going to get tweaked.
Well, I tell you, James Madison and Tulane are going to feel like they got screwed over if they ain't the top 12 teams in the nation after being in the 12-game playoff. And Notre Dame and Texas will certainly wonder why the heck they didn't. Never mind. It's the whole thing. It's just a farce the way it is right now. Thanks for my call, Steve.
All right, John. Thank you. I don't know if it's a farce, but do I get that a lot of people think it should be changed or tweaked? Yes, I do. By the way, tomorrow, if everything goes according to Hoyle on the show, Mark Wise here will talk some hoops with you. His schedule is already crazy. Don't forget, mark this down. January 5 is the first Hoop There It Is show. Okay? It'll be noon on Monday. So mark that down. Jenny Rowland, the Gator Gymnastics coach, will be here live in studio. Their hype night is coming up. Their season is right around the corner. And then Sean Devaney from Heavy.com will talk a little NBA with you. And we are hopeful, because of Tulane being in this, we hope to have Roddy Jones here. And if you don't know who Roddy Jones is, he works for ESPN. He just had the analyst role in Tulane's last game. So I want to get his thoughts for you on what he sees with this Tulane team, what he sees with Sumrall, etc. We're still working on that to confirm it, but I hope he'll be here tomorrow for that. So looking forward to that. There will be no prognostication Friday tomorrow because there's one game. It's Army-Navy, right? So we won't have that. And a couple of people have asked this. Our final show will be a week from tomorrow. And then we're going to take a couple of weeks off for the holiday and come back in January. So just wanted to make you aware of that. And again, one more time, tomorrow is the day we're giving away 4 pair of 4-day passes to Welcome to Rockville. 1 pair for each show. And again, the song to listen to is Paradise City by Guns N' Roses. We'll take a break. We'll have a chance for you to call in. And our final segment today, I'd like to hear from you to close out the show today. It's been a good Thursday program as you listen to Sports Scene.
He's got the 1966 Heisman Trophy, the 1996 National Championship Trophy, and 7 SEC trophies. Now he's got a new trophy, a can of beer. Steve Spurrier was the head ball coach. Now you can call him the head beer coach. Head Beer Coach 1966 Lager is available in 16-ounce cans at Gator games and stores all across Gainesville. You can also get it in the can or on draft at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Refreshing in all kinds of weather, Head Beer Coach 1966 Lager, a legend in a can.
Attention local and regional CDLA drivers in the North Florida area. Pritchett Trucking is currently looking for local and regional drivers. Are you looking for a driver-friendly environment? Pritchett Trucking offers more home time, great pay, and great benefits, including health insurance and paid time off. And they also offer a quarterly performance and safety program, plus a sign-on bonus. Pritchett Trucking's regional drivers are home weekends and local drivers are home daily. If you're at least 23 years old and want a rewarding career with great pay, don't let the opportunity pass you by. Apply online at PritchettTrucking.com.
Are you ready to raise your game when it comes to your Gators gear? Head over to Alma Mater in Gainesville and you'll find just what you need to rep your team in style. From one-of-a-kind Gator tees and hats to NIL gear, they've got the perfect Gator swag for every fan in all kinds of weather. Whether it's game day or any day, you'll be winning with officially licensed apparel found nowhere else. Locally owned, locally produced. Alma Mater, in-store at the corner of 34th and University or online at almamaterdesign.com.
Domino's carryout deal means you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each when you order online or by phone. Just in case there's any confusion, we've even set up a helpful website to confirm if today is a day you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each. Just go to howaboutoday.com to find out if Domino's carryout deal is valid today. Spoiler alert, it is. Carryout only. Ask for this offer. Availability and charges may vary. Size availability varies by crust type. Excludes XL and specialty. Your local store may charge extra for some toppings and sauces.
Want to get your brand noticed? At Radware, we help you stand out with custom corporate apparel, branded uniforms, and promotional swag that gets attention. From trade shows to team uniforms, we've got you covered. Radware even works with major names like the University of Florida. Boost your brand visibility today. Visit radware.com. That's radware.com and let your brand shine.
When you need insurance, you'd like to get great coverage for a great rate, right? The big companies tell you they will, but how can you be sure? With Ann Tom's Insurance, you're not navigating coverage choices alone. Ann Tom's is an independent agent with 35 years of experience representing over 45 companies. Having an independent agent makes a real difference. It's that simple. Ann Tom's is local and independent, not just a phone bank. Go to atomsfl.com or call 352-275-9203.
From now until December 31st, you might start seeing double. Because with the Visa Platinum Rewards Card from Radiant Credit Union, you'll earn double points on every purchase. Double the coffee runs, double the holiday shopping rewards, double the fun. Just swipe, earn, repeat, and watch those points pile up twice as fast. So when you're ready, apply at radiantcu.org or visit your local branch. Double the points with your Visa Platinum Rewards Card from Radiant Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA Equal Opportunity Lender.
From the UF Weather Center, here is your WRUF weather update.
It's a beautiful late fall day today with abundant sunshine. 64 degrees is where we'll top out today. A little cooler than where we should be. Tonight, chilly. In fact, a frost advisory is in effect tonight, so bring those plants on in. 35 for the overnight low. Sunshine, warmer, 67 Friday, and hot as 72 sound by the time we get to Saturday and Sunday. From the WFT Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Tim Miller.
You're listening to Sports Scene with Steve Russell, right here on WRUF, 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Nobody has ever in 27 years ever asked me this question. Here it is. Bill says, I've listened to you for a long time, and every year, this time of the year, you always say this is your favorite time of the year. Tell us why it is. Nobody's ever asked me that. I don't know. First of all, I like the cooler weather. Like you can wear a sweater like this, okay? I like that. I don't know, just the giving part of it. People are nicer generally this time of the year. I've always liked the holidays. When I was a kid, I liked it, and I still do. Kids, grandkids, all that. It's fun to have this time of the year. So thank you for asking that. Steven says, I'm a little stunned at the Mets not having Nimmo, Diaz, and Alonso anymore. Will this come back to haunt the Mets? It could. And I think, look, if you're like me and you've been a Mets fan or a Jets fan, even a Knicks fan, you know how tough that is, given their histories, right? The Knicks have won 2 championships, won 2 in 4 years. The Jets have won 1, the Mets have won 2. You get the point. But there is time to fix this. The question is, will they fix it? They've got the money. But remember, they spent a lot of money last year, didn't make the playoffs, and their pitching, in part due to injury, was a shambles. So we will see. Don't forget, we're coming to you live from the Gator Trim Light Studio, fueled by our friends at Southeast Car Agency. And once again, a big shout out to our friends at Crystal Air and Water for sponsoring this third hour of the show. And when we talk high school sports, I want to give a shout out to Gator Domino's for helping us with that. Proud to support our local high schools. There's a Domino's store in your neighborhood. You can call or click www.domino's.com today. And I want to welcome a new sponsor, Castaway Hot Sauce. Hot sauce with real flavor, not just heat and vinegar. Built by Gators for Gators, Castaway Hot Sauce is available at Publix. All right. JD is going to, I think, wrap us up today. JD, hello.
Hey, Steve, I want to get your opinion on this. A couple things, 2 things. One, the Michigan coaching situation, and then I want to move on just a second to FSU. But had a dear friend of mine years and years ago. We used to play softball together and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, he was an Alabama alum. And I can't remember when it was, one of the Alabama coaching changes. It was before Saban. And I was asking him about it. Might have been Gene Stallings. And I asked him about it. I said, well, what do you think? And he said, Alabama will make him a winner. Alabama will make him a winner. Michigan. It's ironic because I saw somewhere where they were really looking at Kalen DeBoer. But do you think there are schools, let's say Michigan being one of them, and we follow the premise of my friend, is Michigan enough of a blue blood that it will make whomever a winner? Is that still accurate in today's environment?
No, because I'm a history guy. There's no school, JD, that has been the case of. Every school, including blue bloods, have had seasons where they've been down. So there's no guarantee there. And that's why there's so much emphasis put on hiring the right coach, because you want to, have that sustained success. But there's no guarantee of that. It'll be interesting to see, where Michigan goes from here, because we've had this unprecedented turnover in coaches. So, who's out there that, is going to leave where they are and go to Michigan and, go to a place now where you don't know what the team is going to be like, with all this, how many kids leave the program, all that. The blue blood name is there, but boy, this could be tough.
Yeah, and like I said, I was reading last night where somebody, I don't know who in the Michigan family, they were really targeting Kalen DeBoer. So that will be an interesting how that plays out. Reference Chris Lowe mentioned he doesn't remember in 40 years the amount of coaching changes and everything that happened this year. The second part is FSU. They didn't get involved in the merry-go-round, whatever the issue, but they don't have the money or whatever. But does that put them in an advantageous position next year? Because the carousel hadn't started, maybe they get the pick of the litter. Even though where he is, who would you pick? I mean, that's a kind of precarious situation. Would you agree with that, Steve?
Well,
for them, FSU,
they obviously reached out to some people, and I think if they'd gotten the right person, they would have found the money to get rid of Norvell. But money is an issue there. It always has been an issue there. So so now I don't want to say you're stuck with him, but he's going to return there, right? So if you let him go, once again the next year coaching cycle begins, and money talks, right? At the beginning of this year, did you ever think, if I said to you, Lane Kiffin's going to LSU, given Brian Kelly being there, you'd have probably thought I was a nutbag. But it happened.
Right.
So you just don't know over the course of a season and, who stays and who doesn't, what happens. That's what makes it kind of crazy.
Yeah, and FSU's stuck with that $50 million buyout, which is, I think, one of the highest of them all, of all the things that have happened, the dynamics have happened in the last year. So, okay, Steve, thank you so much.
Yes, sir, JD. Thank you. That's going to do it for Sports Scene for today. Kevin and the Sports Lab gang are next. Thanks to Giselle for producing today. We'll do this tomorrow for an FRIDAY edition of Sports Scene. I'm Steve Russell. See you later.